Hey guys, I'm IDT here. Um, so guys, I'm gonna make my first tier list of some Pokemon. And really, I know this sounds stupid, but I didn't even think of this idea. It came from a comment because guess what? I read every single comment. I'm that small of a YouTuber. So, guys, if you want to see some videos, just drop me some ideas, and I'm definitely gonna try to do them, especially some of the easier ones like this. Because there's so many Pokemon, I'm starting with a Gen 1. I thought about doing starters, but where I'm not like super familiar with a lot of the later starters, I decided I better just go with Gen 1. And I can kind of go with starters, everything like that. Excuse me, I just had some apple cider, non alcoholic, um, and go from there. So I'll probably start with kind of like the Bulbasaur, the Charmander, the Squirtle, put them on there. I was gonna adjust these tier lists, but then I want to see community rank, and then again, like there is a lot of Pokemon in Gen 1 that I think can fall in very different tiers, even though I think like, oh, it's a B, but then it's really like, well, but yeah, it's not as good as this other Pokemon. So that's why I kept all the kind of the base set for this, and there's home renders for the images of the Pokemon, and they look great. So um, whoever made this, shout out to you. I don't know if it tells you on this. I've honestly never really like looked too hard. Um, but guys, we'll just start it off honestly with Bulbasaur. I think Bulbasaur's a solid A tier Pokemon. Um, really cool. Um, but really, I think it's hurt by its evolutions. Personally, for me. So kind of going on, we'll go to Charmander S tier. Um, and then for me, this is actually why I think um, this is hard. I'm not gonna put these in order of like better or worse. Um, so I think to be honest with you, I think Squirtle and Bulbasaur are probably very similar in rankings. So um, then honestly, um, for me, we'll just go. I think Ivysaur is definitely a solid B. I still like Ivysaur, because I still feel like it kind of gives that um, still looks like Bulbasaur but evolved. Venusaur, I just honestly I might get some hate for it, but I don't like Venusaur. I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's F tier. I don't like it, to be honest with you. Um, so Charmeleon, easy A tier. I think he's overlooked a lot because of pretty much where he's at. Because Charmander I think is like more, and and Charizard is like more. So that's why I think so. So I'll probably get a lot of flack for this one. Um, but um, I think Charizard S tier for me. I don't get into the hype with Charizard. Um, so Wartortle, um, B tier. I mean, I don't think I have to explain that to anyone. Um, Guys, for me, I don't know. I like the Blastoid. So it's just it's one of those personal things. I think most people are gonna have Charizard in that double S, and I think Blastoise in the S. But for some reason, I always thought it was like a cool take on Turtle with the guns, everything like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, um, growing up as a kid. So that's all the starters of Gen 1. Um, I'm gonna pick on some easy ones. So I think Psyduck, definite C tier, and I think you just throw them in there. Um, Easy C tiers. Um, um, I think Growl definitely B tier, and Arcanine A tier. I think Growl's just a little too basic, really, just a dog fire. But Arcanine, I kind of like the step up, if you will. Um, Honestly, then I have some personal favorites. So Alakazam, so Abra S tier, Alakazam uh, um, double S tier for me. Um, and this is how forgetful this is. I can't even remember. Is it Kazam? I don't remember. I don't even remember the name. That's how forgettable it is for me. And I know I shouldn't be that way, but I just really loved Abra and I loved Alakazam. Um, so that's kind of where we get there on that. So another kind of S tier for me. I do double S. I always love the Gengar. So he's not gonna stay in C tier. I really, guys, Haunter's hard for me. I think I'm gonna go A tier with him, and then I'm gonna do Ghastly and honestly C tier. I just think that's a low. I think Ghastly's kind of low effort. I don't know. I don't like him. To be honest with you. Okay, another one. So Pikachu, guys. So Pikachu's S or SS, and this is just for nostalgia reasons. I'm just gonna throw him SS for nostalgia reasons. And then honestly, I've grown to like Raichu more, but I just think because Pikachu's so iconic, it kind of gives Raichu. I'm gonna put it in B tier because no one wants a Raichu after they have Pikachu. Um, it's just the truth, you know. Um, okay, so let's keep on going down. So I'm just gonna cherry pick a few, right? Actually, I'm gonna leave those for last. So I'll just actually go. So as we're going, so Caterpie, I think easy C tier, forgettable. Same with Metapod. Um, I think the Harden episodes, I think there's certain episodes that, yeah, baby, you can use it. My daughter's staying up with me tonight, so she might be in the videos a little bit, but so I think the Metapod and Kakuna are definitely C tier because they're just kind of boring Pokemon. They represent the life cycle of kind of like a butterfly, cocoon animals. I don't know how many go through that, but I think Butterfree definitely B tier. Solid Pokemon in the show, but Ash lets it go in the end. So Weedle C tier. I think Beedrill's is in the same place. So I think Pidgey, easy C tier. Pidgeotto, I'm gonna throw in S tier. I feel like very more iconic than its evolved form. And guys, I'm so rusty. I might get the wrong names wrong, but one's Pidgeotto and one's Pidgeot. Don't hate me. I mean, there people are like, he's a fake Pokemon lover. It's like, no, I love Pokemon. It's just been so long, and some of these Pokemon names and stuff like that. It's been years, and you get old, and you have kids, and it's hard. I'll just wait for it. Rattata and Raticate, C tier. I don't think I need to explain that. They're rats. Same with Sparrow. Pharaoh. Easy C tier. This is kind of interesting for me. Ekans B tier. Arbok, definitely an A tier for me. I really like Arbok for whatever reason. But it just falls short of S tier. It just doesn't quite have that sticking power for me. Actually, as I do this too, I'm gonna rearrange this. So I brought those down because I don't just bird Pokemon aren't that cool. I guess you know what I'm trying to say. So I talked about Sandslash or Sandshrew, sorry, and Sandslash. So I'm gonna give them both A tiers. I think they're cool Pokemon in my opinion. Um, Everyone's gonna hate me because I just remember Nidoqueen, Nidoking, and Nidoran, but I don't I don't remember their names, but so for that reason, C tier, Nidoqueen B tier. Um, I don't know why, but I'm putting that in C tier too. I like the small look, but I do like that, and then I honestly think Nidoking definitely A tier. Not my first choice, but I always thought in the anime. Should I say anime or the cartoon? I don't know which is more acceptable, but in the anime slash cartoon, I always when a Nidoking would come out, it was always a cool deal. Um, Fairy C, and Clefable C. Um, there's nothing to be said about that. Um, so Vulpix, definite A tier. I feel like Ninetales, definitely B tier. So I gotta give Jigglytuff A tier, or Jigglypuff, sorry, but Wigglytuff, definite D tier. No one remembers Wigglytuff. Like, no one knew this was a Pokemon when I was a kid. Um, Zubat D tier, Golbat C tier. I think the no eyes and stuff like that, I just hated it as a kid. And then just when you go, what was the first cave, Mount Moon? That's wrong. That's definitely wrong. But whatever the first cave you went into, in Pokemon, you just run into freaking Zubats every 10 seconds. It just. So Oddish, definitely C tier. Gloom, I hate Gloom. For whatever reason. Um, Vileplume, I think C tier. Paris C tier, but Parasect or whatever you say, D tier. Don't like it. Not at all. Venomoth, solid D tier. Venomoth, I'll get C tier. Diglett, C tier. Whatever the name of these, I don't remember what the three of them were called, but I mean that's how forgettable it is. I remember Diglett, and I mean, 10-year-old me is like really hated myself, but I can't remember the name. Guys, I mean that's I'm still coming off sick brain, so I feel like if I wasn't so sick, but I remember, but I don't. So I think Meowth. Um, if we were doing like off the cartoon purely, be A tier, but in the game B tier. Same with Persian. Just they're kind of cool. I know they're just based on cats, but um, I don't feel like they went far enough with Persian. I think it would have made Meowth cooler if it was more, like more gold aspect to it instead of just like a red dot. Um, Mankey C tier, but Primate B tier, almost A tier, just for the kind of doing with Ash's progress with him. Poliwag B tier. Um, Poliwhirl B tier. Poliwrath A tier for me. Loved him. For this, Machop, Machoke for me is S tier, and then Machamp A tier. I don't know why. I guess like, how do you get more buffer than this? You add two more arms, I guess. But I never liked the two arm design. It just he looked creepy to me and almost like a bird. And don't ask me why, but I'm like, ugh. Um, so yeah, but I love uh Machamp. Or no, sorry, Machoke. Machoke. Guys, old man brain, I'm telling you. Um Bellsprout, C tier. This goofy looking thing. And this looks literally like an adult sex toy. Um yeah, and this same thing. Kind of looks like an adult sex toy, but in a horror movie. Tentacool. Now, Tentacruel, I almost want to put in A tier because I do think they're really cool, but I'm gonna hold off on that. So, Geodude, easy C tier. Graveler, I think I'm gonna give B tier. And Golem, as a kid, I had fondness for Golem, but as an adult, you know. Ponyta, B tier. Rapidash, A tier. Slowpoke C tier. Slowbro, B tier. So Slowking, I guess I never realized that Slowking was a later Pokemon. This is the same thing. Magnemite's cool, but then when they just had like three of them together, I don't know. It's the same thing as a Diglett and I want to say Dotrio, but this is Dotrio. I don't know. It's a Dugtrio and Dotrio. Is that what? I'm getting confused because I was gonna say Dotrio, but I think it's Dugtrio. Yeah. Farfetch'd, definite B tier. They just kind of never showed this Pokemon, so that's why. Doduo, B tier. Dotrio, B tier. Seal and Dugong, same deal. No respect, so I'm just throwing them in D. Grimer, A tier. I like Grimer. Muck, I don't know. Like I've never liked Muck. I feel like it was just like they made Grimer into a fat slob, which I think is great. Like I think it's good character design, but for me personally, I'm just like I don't like how this looks. Like kind of just reminds me of a fat slob, like a fat slob in real life. Um, Shelter, I think it deserves the B tier. And Cloyster, B tier. Um, I mean, when you look at that right there, I know these are home renters, but it's like home renders. Sorry, not home renters. But they look exactly the same. So, I wonder if there's any truth to that. So Onyx, I mean, come on, Onyx is Onyx. We gotta throw him in A tier. Um, Drowsy, C tier. Hypno, B tier. I almost put him in A tier. Krabby, B tier. Honestly, Kingler. This is probably a weird one, but S tier. I love Kingler. Electrode, and I don't even know the difference anymore, guys. I'm telling you, one's Polish flag and one's not the Polish flag. Execute. You know, I gotta do it C tier. I think it's a cool design. Executor, B tier. Cubone, definite A tier. Marowak, B tier. It's kind of one of those where it is downgrade. I think Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. Easy A tier. Lipton. I'm giving this Pokemon F tier. I hate it. I don't know why. It's like, man, that's stupid. I don't like it at all. And to be honest with you, over here, let's throw Jinx in there. Um, Not for like, I think some people hate this because they're like the racist undertones, but for me, I'm just like, I don't know, it's just creepy. Coughing and wheezing, Definitely solid B tier. A tier if I just liked him more. Okay. Rhyhorn. Easy A tier. Rhydon. B tier because, I don't know, it's just one of those, like, you wouldn't want to involve them, to be honest with you. Or I personally wouldn't want to. Chansey. F tier. Hate Chansey. Tangela. D tier. Kangaskhan. Easy S tier. Horsey B tier. Seadra B tier. Goldeen and I'm throwing him in D. I don't like him. Starmie. Easy B tier. Mr. Pedomime. Oh, guys. This is the hard one. My friend, when I was growing up, Brady was his name. He used Mr. Mime was his Pokemon. And for that reason, I'm throwing him in B tier. Even though I think if I wasn't for that reason, he'd be definitely D tier. Scyther, S tier. Electabuzz, B tier. Magmar, B tier. Pinsir, S tier. Tauros, S tier. Magikarp, C tier. Gyarados, easy S tier. Lapras, I gotta give Lapras A tier. And the animation's dope. Ditto, cool, but like, really, I don't know. Like, oh, it could be anything. I don't know. I don't care for it, to be honest with you. Eevee, definite S tier. You know, actually, I take that back. I'm not a huge fan of Eevee. I was kind of going with the hype of everything. A tier, definitely. Vaporeon, A tier. I like the electric one, Jolteon. I almost didn't remember the name, guys. So, I like Jolteon. So, Flareon, same deal. I like Jolteon. It's just a cooler one. Porygon, F tier. I think they wanted to add like the internet, like, oh, it's 2000s, the internet's gonna be a thing, but really, I just think they just stop. Sorry, I messed with my monitor. I don't know why I'm thinking it's like a weird angle. D tier. I never liked Amistar or whatever the name. Which one's which? To be honest with you. Kabuto, same deal. C tier. Kind of just a weird Pokemon. Kabutops, easy S tier. Aerodactyl. Actually, I have to put Aerodactyl in A tier. I didn't like it as much as a kid as I did Kabutops. Snorlax, definitely stable. A. Legendary Pokemon. I don't like this picture of Moltres, so I almost didn't put him in there. But yeah, you gotta put the legendary Pokemon in S tier. I mean, they kind of qualify. I forget what the middle one. Dratini and so Dragonite, definite S tier. These two, definite B tier. Because if they didn't evolve, no one would have these Pokemon. Mew, believe it or not, I really don't like Mew a whole lot, but I'll give her B tier. U2 on the other hand, definite double S. So guys, that was all 101. Is that how many Pokemon there are? I might all 100 and something. So probably a low quality tier list to start off with, but really, I think when I look at this, I think I'm pretty satisfied. Um, you know, you know what? I've been thinking about this one. That's what I'm gonna do because I like Arcanine. But I think I'm pretty happy with everything else. I mean, because like when you start getting the C tiers, other than maybe like if you take the anime into effect, these are pretty basic Pokemon that, I mean, everyone knows Magikarp, so maybe that's one that I'm like, I mean, everyone knows all these Pokemon, they're Gen 1, but like everyone, but same thing. It's like Magikarp's only cool because he turned into Gyarados. Um, so I mean, I guess C tier is not really a hated. It's just like they're very blah to me, blah Pokemon. Then D tier, I think, is just like the definite blah. You know, like I would rather have a Bulbasaur than a Venusaur or or sorry, an Ivysaur or than a Venus. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have the Bulbasaur. I'd rather have a Jigglypuff. I'm not even gonna capture a Zubat, just to be honest with you, other than for the Pokédex. Same Gloom. Just hate it with that drool and everything. Parasect. I'm probably not even gonna catch a Paras, to be honest with you, other than and Parasect's the same deal. Then that all these Pokemon are just very Pokemon. I mean, I think maybe some people might argue with this, but and then D tier, I just honestly think they're Pokemon that just get left out a lot. Maybe I'm gonna throw Chansey in D tier because I feel like that's a little bit more solid reasoning for my F tier. Because Jinx, come on, guys, it's literally like the worst stereotype of a black woman. That's literally what it is. But really, I don't hate it for that reason. I mean, I'm trying to judge it as a Pokemon and not because of that, and I still don't like it. I mean, because it's almost like a Pokemon trying to be a human. Um, it's kind of just really gross, to be honest with you. Licton, same thing, just a fatty with a big old tongue. I mean, what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it. And then Porygon, I just feel like it's a very tacked on deal. All right, guys, so probably a little bit of a long video, but kind of try to do a slow scroll so everyone sees what I chose and back up again. But that's all for me on my DT. Please like, comment so I know what to do and please you guys with entertainment, and subscribe so you actually see that after you comment.